Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Soul Talks with Lori to the top. Whew, what a week this has been. I ended last week with the idea of synchronicities and what I I don't know about any of you, but it's happening with my friend Seth. He's from Maine. He had a near death experience. I met him from the Jeff Mara podcast that I listen to all the time about near death. He died and came back, or seemingly died, whatever the hell. His body went through something that he changed the whole. He was a major drug addict and doesn't touch the stuff anymore. It was that immediate. He's so. We have this thing going. Actually, I can't just say we, him and I, because I saw a pileated. Good morning, Cynthia. Thanks for being here, sunshine. Uh, I just watched two those huge woodpeckers. Pileated. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, it one of them was on the tree and the other one came to it and they were one was on either side of the that was as soon as this opened anyway, there's been a lot of synchronicities happening that just are blowing my mind, and the latest one was with Seth. He's from Maine, and he wrote this beautiful thing. He asked about fun, asked what something about fun. And I said, my God, Seth. I said, just yesterday at one of the schools I was at Franklin Elementary, which is where a 5-year old brought in a loaded gun this week. The second day I was there, because the first day I just left there feeling amazing. It was in a autistic group. Good morning, Cher. It was in a they call it ESE, exceptional something anyway. But they're all autistic. And I've been in a lot of these classes because I think that's where I feel the most comfortable because I'm not the teacher. So I can interact with the kids. And these kids at this elementary school, they were high functioning. Actually, they were really, I don't like to use the word smart. And I actually talked to one of the kids about that. I don't like to use the word smart because, and I talked to this kid named Charlie. His name is really John, but he calls himself Charlie, which is another weird thing because Hannah, my granddaughter, has changed her name. Everybody at school calls her Charlie. Everybody she meets, says her name is Charlie. She doesn't like Hannah. So I even got her a bracelet for Christmas saying Charlie on it. Um, so I told Charlie because he was talking about how smart he is, and I went, "Do you know?" Good morning, Margie. I said, "Do you know anything about doing hair?" He goes, "No, why?" I said, "Because that's what I'm smart in. You might be smart in math, which he was trying to teach me fractions that and he's enjoying fractions. I'm like, what? This is a kid who has a hard time talking, but he, there was something between me and him. It was beautiful. Those 2 days. I walked out the first day, and I told people in the office when I was giving my key and everything back. I was like, I had the best day. And they're like, oh, do you want to come in tomorrow too? Because the teacher had the flu and they knew she wasn't going to be there. So I said, sure. I wasn't lined up for anything for Thursday. So I didn't have to go on the app and look. I knew where I was going, where the office was, how to get to the room. That's a bonus when you don't know nothing when you go into these places. Anyway, yeah, we talked about school, about being smart. These kids are intelligent. They grasp on things so quickly. And then there was another one that had a hard time reading. I was encouraging him, and I could see during the book, oh, you know, to see when your eyes or your mind is open to seeing what's really going on, you can't help but love these kids, even when they're fighting to be in line first. And they think if they lose a card, I taught them how to play war. I don't, you guys have to know how to play war, the game where you split the deck of cards up. We were Charlie and I were reading something, and I don't know how it came about, but it was about the card game War. I said, "Do you know what that game is?" And he said, "No." So I asked the teacher. I said, "Can I teach Charlie how to play War? Do you have cards?" And because it's higher, lower, if you get the higher card, you get to keep the two when you flip them. And then when you play War, when you get both put down the same card, you put three upside down, then flip the last one, and you get them all. Oh my God, they caught on to. Oh my God, the whole class wanted to play War after Charlie and I. So we were just. It turned out to be an amazing day. Oh, but the kid, there was a little boy that came into school and had a loaded handgun in his backpack. Peter sends me a text. He goes, "Aren't you at Franklin Elementary?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Somebody brought a loaded gun into school today." I'm like, wow. Thank God we go through those metal detectors to catch it. Turns out the father got arrested because the father's the one who put the gun in his backpack and forgot it. And he got arrested. I don't know the rest of the story, but I'm sure there's a lot more to it. It's not just. But I was watching people were coming to pick up their kids. The gun was gone, in the possession of the authorities. We had cops. We were out on the playground, and there were four different news casters, Fox, Wink News. There was one, the Storm Tracker van was there. A storm was brewing. I know that people are scared of their for their kids, but this literally has never happened. This is the first. And the the detector thing that we have to go through. I guess it's a metal detector. I don't know. I don't know if it detects metal because we go through it with wheelchairs and it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, nothing happened. It could have been so much, but people were lining up as they heard it to go get their kids, and that fear. It's not what happens, seemingly happens in life. It's how you react to what happens, how you go into overdrive, or you just, okay, this is what happened. Nothing, nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. Nobody. And who knows what made that? It could have been just he just needed a place to put it. I don't know why he had a loaded gun in the first place. Loaded. Who knows? But I am a firm believer in everything is happening exactly the way it's meant to. And it was meant to be found and taken care of in the early morning when the kids came in. Anyway, the synchronicities are off the chart. Oh, and I wanted to talk about Sherry's son Justin too. because I ended with it last. I think I ended with it last time. Um, oh shoot. Okay, I'm not gonna forget that, but there's something else that I wanted to talk about. Sometimes I don't have anything I don't know, and still something happens. But then there's times when there's too much. Okay, so I put on my stories a story, something that I had posted last year. It came up in my memories yesterday, so I put it on my story, and it was about imagining. And I'm gonna put it up and see. I want you to see how your mind reacts to what I'm going to show you. Some of you probably already seen it, but you don't know what I'm going to. Well, I don't know. I want you to notice, just notice where your mind goes when I show you this picture. Blah. It is Trump and Biden in friendly scenarios. And it says imagine on the top, just like that song. I think I put the song to it in the original post last year. Imagine all the people living life in peace. So there's a new, um, anyway, did you notice what came up for you? Did you notice where your mind went seeing the two of them not fighting, enjoying each other's company? Imagine, imagine all the people living life in peace. And I remember Dr. Dyer used to talk about that being seeming like Pollyanna or whatever. It can happen. So there's a new series on HBO. Not sure everybody has HBO, and I only have it because of Ingrid. I think her Apple. Oh no, it's on Apple TV, not HBO. It's Apple TV. And I'm so grateful every time we watch a movie on there. And she got Wicked, the second one. God, Ingrid, if you watch this, I've reached out to you a couple of times just to connect. I just would love to. I don't know if anybody. She just isn't responding to me anymore. But we get to watch so many beautiful movies because we have her Apple thing. And she's probably going to be cringing about this. Um, and if I lose it, I lose it. But oh my God, I've been anyway. This pluribus. My girlfriend Lynn talked about it this week. She says you guys have got to watch this, and other things got in the way, and other movies came up that I was like, I had to. We Are Boats. That was a cool one too. We Are Boats. Ooh, and that's on Tubi TV. We have Tubi TV too. That Bridget will connect with that one. But Tubi TV is free, and it's We Are Boats. Great movie. The end just brings it all together because you're like, what? It's so, it's beautiful. God, these movies. And they, anyway, this pluribus thing, we've been putting it off. And then this morning, right when I got on, I have a Course in Miracles. Dakini Wild, I think her name is. I'm in her group, and she had David Hoffmeister is like the, I don't know. He would not want to be called the guru of Course in Miracles, but he is. He's been doing it the longest, out sharing it. It's a okay. The Course in Miracles is a channeled. It was channeled through Helen Schuckman and her partner in the she, she. It was. It came. she's written it through Jesus's words. She didn't even know, and she wasn't religious, nothing. She just wrote what was coming to her from an entity called Jesus. It was coming through her, and she wrote it all out, and it is amazing. It has changed so many people's lives. Anyway, David Hoffmeister is the number one guy for Course in Miracles, and Marianne Williamson would be the number one woman for Course in Miracles. And actually, it was Oprah who got me to even know about A Course in Miracles. And then my friend Bruce from the ice cream store here related it for his awakening through A Course in Miracles, explained what he came to realize through his awakening. And then Hope Johnson, right? Cynthia, she's embodied the whole thing. Her life is completely different than, anyway, just little love beings instead of, you know, through the ego. So I get so far off the track. That's the thing. And that's okay. It's okay. My sister in law gave me that. She made it for me. It's okay. I love this shirt. That's what I say to everybody, even these autistic kids. It's okay. The second. Okay. So, anyway, this pluribus thing. David Hoffmeister talked about it because Lynn didn't say anything about it. She just said, "You guys will watch it, and we got to talk about it because it's a series. It's only one chapter in the series so far." So, um, we've just been putting it off, but we're going to be watching it since David Hoffmeister talked about how when it was a virus and she got somebody got it by being bit from a mouse, and ego gone, living in pure bliss. In I'm paraphrasing through him. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. And next week I'm going to be talking about it because what he was saying about it, because Lynn didn't tell me anything. He said that this woman, hi Lisa, and you're all here. I love you guys. Anyway, so I'm talking about Pluribus, Alicia. It's a series that just started. It's all done right now. Actually, Lynn apparently watched it as it was going, and she had to wait. But Peter and I are gonna binge it. He doesn't know yet. But anyway, this woman who got bit by the mouse was in bliss, and she started kissing other people on the lips to transmit it. And in apparently the whole world is changed into peace and harmony. No fighting, no diseases, no nothing, because it's all starting from our thoughts. All of it. And it continues through our thoughts. Anything that's happening here is what you're believing. Anyway, and that was another synchronicity this week, how that's been reflected to me over and over and over. It's by what you believe in. You gotta see what you're believing. So when you're arguing with what is, you're believing it should be different. So when you see Trump and Biden being friendly, what does that evoke in you? You know, if you're a fan of Biden, you're gonna, he is with the enemy, and the opposite. If you're a fan of Trump, Biden is the enemy. The only enemy is hate. That's it. That's the only, if there is an enemy, it's hate and fighting what is, resisting life, saying it shouldn't be the way it is. I mean, and this is so hard to grasp for the human psyche because, I mean, I'm talking already a 2-year-old. It starts out immediately. I don't like that. I don't want, or don't want it the way it is. Suffer. accept the way it is, not so much suffering when you think it should be different than it is. You're just accepting what is. Um, yeah, there ends up being only 12 people in the world that are still ego. I don't watch it. Oh, no news here. I don't watch it. Yeah, I don't watch it either. I don't watch the news. Literally. Oh, that's another synchronicity that happened, guys. That first class that I got into Wednesday at Franklin Elementary, it, I, I, I was there early because I didn't know where I was going or anything. So I was talking with Bob, the teacher, and he said something, and I said something about the news, and I said, I don't watch the news. I said, I haven't watched the news in 30 years. He goes, good for you. And I think he was around my age. He's an older man. And he was so good with those autistic kids. And I told him, he, that class was run like a top. They wanted to please him. They all respected him. I, it was just beautiful. It was third, fourth, and fifth grade kids. Three different grades in one class. There was 12 of them. And he had that. They knew what to do. I was in awe. And that's what I told him when at the end of the day, I was like, this, you, you are in the right place. I said, first of all, how'd you get into this? His sister had adopted two autistic kids back in the day and raised them. So, and he connected with them. So he does very well. Wow, he's such an asset to that school. He was very quiet though, and me, you know, blah 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 blah. I don't think he's ever seen anything like me. I'm sure he hasn't. But the next day he came in, and as soon as I opened the door, I felt it. I don't know, you guys. I'm sure you feel, when you go into a room or you go into something, you feel the vibe. If it's not up, you feel it if it's down. So I walked in, and within 5 minutes, I said to him, I said, "What's going on with you? Something, you seem different." He goes, "Yeah, I turned on the news this morning." I went, "Oh, enough said." He goes, "Yeah, we had just talked about it the day before, and how I don't," because I had said to him the day before, I said, "There's nothing you can do about it, so why even put that in your consciousness? Why?" You know what? When you're not connected to all of that, what's wrong? I mean, different things seemingly go wrong in the day, but it ends up, depending on how you react to it. You, if you react with, Jesus, then it's going to be hell. But if you just take it in stride, okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's not going to always be this way. So, then I go the Friday. I couldn't go back to Franklin because I had something lined up for Friday that I had taken on Monday. On Monday, I was like, I kept looking on my app, and it says no data, no jobs found, no, all day. I'm like, what? I mean, Sunday, I'm trying nothing, nothing, nothing. I'm like, I'm thinking my app is broken. Then things started popping up, and I was like, but I didn't realize the things that were popping up were for the following week. I have things lined up for next week that I took just trying to take a job. And one of them was Fridays. But I picked it on Monday. Well, it turns out there was no school Monday. No wonder I wasn't getting jobs. I was thinking my app was busted. Anyway, so Friday, I was at the Gulf Middle School is middle, and I don't do regular gen ed middle school. I do the ESE because I'm not the teacher. I go in and I help with the kids, and this was a nonverbal group, pretty much nonverbal group. And we go to, they just started being integrated. We're talking these kids not only on the nonverbal, three of them can't even walk. They're in wheelchairs. Actually, one, she can walk, but for short distances. That's the one I was in charge of, Lily. Oh my God, she's so sweet. I've been drawn to her because I've been there before in the early fall. I've been there. Well, I knew the kids, and when we went, I took Lily to the music class, and the teacher is resisting. She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't. She thinks it's a pain in her ass to get all these kids out and bring them into the gen ed, with the and the music teacher. Okay, so we get to the door, and our teacher, Crystal, says, they weren't. Another woman, Kim, who's in the room, she looked through the door, and she says he's still teaching, and she's like, I don't care. They're making us do this. Crystal said, I don't care. So she just barged in, and of course, Christian's going, oh, it's disturbing. He can't teach anymore. He can't finish up his class. So he's pissed off. And so it starts off all, and the kids are reacting to it. So he dismisses those kids, and the new kids come in with ours. Were already in the back, and the he goes, today we're going to do karaoke, something he's never done before. He teaches music, but with the ESE kids in there, it's hard to teach. These kids are not, they're not even interested. They're not. But he played Disney. The first one was You're Welcome from Moana. So, oh my God, I didn't really know the words to that. It had the words plus, and he said, I encourage you to sing. So I, of course, started singing, and I'm noticing different groups, like the boys. There was a bunch of boys that started singing, and they were nervous. They were insecure about it or whatever. So I started singing louder, and I'm basically dancing in my chair. So there was two boys that pulled their chairs up, backed them up to me. Good morning, thieves. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning. So they pulled their chairs up next to me, and I introduced them to Lily, and they really were intrigued. She's so sweet. Even though she doesn't talk, she was chewing on her book, and she's 12, I think, and she's just a little petite thing. She can walk, but not for long distances. But she gets around if she's out of her chair. They keep her in the chair when they need to do things. Like in this class, she had to be in the chair. And she sat there with her book doing fine, just in her own world. So then, so I'm still dancing and I get these boys to the right of me. We started talking in between. It was something that happened. Oh, two girls from in front of them to the right of me pulled back to be closer to them. And then they started talking. And one of the boys next to me said, she hurt my feelings. And of course, I was like, nobody can hurt your feelings without your permission. And he looks at me, and the girl looked at me. I said, you have to have a button inside that has to be pushed in order to. Anyway, so as I'm getting into, there was more. The Greatest Showman came up. The soundtrack to The Greatest Showman. I don't know if you guys have seen The Greatest Showman, but that is a beautiful movie, and the words to the songs are so empowering. It's and I said, oh no, that was yesterday at the beach. I don't know if I'll remember that. Yesterday at the beach, I was telling Peter about this, and I was saying that we started listening. I brought my little speaker, and I started listening to The Greatest Showman on Spotify, and I said, there's a song, A Million Dreams. It's one of my all-time favorite songs that Pink does. And he, I said to him, God, I wish they'd play the one. I like the one that Pink sings better than the from the movie. The next song, he goes, "Isn't this Pink?" And it's crazy. Anyway, so all of a sudden, as we're dancing and singing to the songs, it's felt, when you can be yourself, it makes others be okay to be themselves. And in middle school, that's a tough one where they're all judging and you're doing it wrong or making fun of whatever. So five more kids freaking took their chairs and came back to the right of me. All of us were singing to these songs, and it was amazing. It was so that guy. Okay, so the guy Bob from the day before in the Franklin School asked me the second day, "What do I do to have fun? What do I do for fun?" And I went, I was taken aback. I've never been asked that. And I started to say, pretty much my baseline is, it seems like turning that, I didn't know that was going to happen because Bob was the day before asking me this. But the next day, the Friday, Seth, my friend Seth from Maine, who has had a near death experience that I've come to know pretty good, that not know pretty good, but we converse. I'm in his groups. He said he wrote a post about fun and what do you do for fun. I'm like, what? Said, I'm saying in my response just yesterday, someone asked me that. I don't I can't ever remember being asked, what do you do for fun? What do you do? What Anyway, I basically have a lot of fun in mundane things. Like even feeding the fish is fun for me. It's fun to connect with people, to have a great conversation with people, to do this show. I have fun doing this. It is fun. It's fun watching the birds. Yeah, when we last week, Friday, oh, Thursday night, I was talking with Lynn, who is my neighbor, by the way. Well, right now, she goes back to Colorado in the summer. But she was talking about osprey. And I was saying about we had so many osprey here before and eagles. And I haven't seen an eagle in a long time. I have not seen an eagle. But and she goes, well, the osprey are here all the time. Well, I'm not here all the time anymore. I'm gone every day, pretty much during the day. So I don't see them like I used to. I'm the good chunk of the day I'm gone. So I leave that school that I Friday that I did the music thing with. I literally pull out of the parking lot and a eagle lands on the top of a pole where I'm. It wasn't even a minute down the road. Another one is landing on top of a different pole. I'm like, I don't know. I, I have you guys noticed? That's what Seth was saying in his comment back to me. It was something about how actually maybe I could get to it. Yeah, because it was in Seth. Oh shoot, Seth. Oh, okay. So this is what I said. It's crazy that you asked this about fun, Seth. It's just another crazy synchronicity in a long line of them recently. It's actually starting to creep me out, to be completely honest, because I don't even know. It's actually just yesterday, a man I just met the day before, which is Bob, asked me what I do for fun. Yesterday, and I put that in capital letters. I was stunned to be asked this. It took me back, and I had to think about it. Isn't that crazy? I finally answered him by saying most days my baseline is fun, and I'm so glad he and now you asked. I got to swing on a swing set. Oh, anybody that knows me knows swinging. I've never lost. I because when Bob the first day we went to recess, I was I, I, the swing set was sturdy and I knew it could handle my weight because it's made for kids most of the time. Oh my god, I had swinging. Just it's fun. Uh, and the day before, I got to teach a class of autistic kids a card game war, and we had a blast. We had so much fun playing that game, and they continued it from Wednesday into Thursday too. With can we play war? Today I got to do karaoke with a whole middle school class. These inspirational songs from The Greatest Showman. Today I got to help my friend out after her dog was taken to the vet overnight. She locked herself out of her place in a panic. Well, a young man I've been working with for about 8 months sent me the most inspired text proving how far he's come in understanding his life through love instead of fear. This I'm talking about Justin, Sherry's son. I can't. I thought it's been 6 months that we've been working together, but I mean, not even really working. He just sends me a text and we just talk back and forth. I mean, I think we've only talked on the phone one time. It's basically audio texting back and forth or regular texting. And he listened to last week when I mentioned that about him. And so he reached out. I'm just in awe of it all right now, honestly. So damn grateful for this beautiful life, which is fun. He says, Lori, it is wild how often you and I are mirroring lately. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm grateful instead because I'm assessing internal states of being that create that connection with others, like what you shared. And if you and I are doing it, then others observe and they are reminder they can do it as well. Oh my God, my God, my God. Okay, so that's a perfect lead in to Justin. So he's the one that got um oh my god, I had it all. His girlfriend dumped him. He thought she was the one and she wasn't having it. She just cut him off completely and he was devastated, which I told him this is your time. And he went through all of my YouTube videos, binged them, and he's taking it on and he's like 35. He's young. And I was just saying how awesome for him. And he said, thank you. The reason I have turned around so quick is because I'm just returning to my baseline, but with more understanding and awareness of people slash myself and more acceptance for things being the way they are. Because at the end of last year, he got fired. He didn't like his boss. He liked the job, but he didn't like his boss. And he got fired when he got back to work in the beginning. And now he's got a whole other job within less than a week in his whole life trajectory. But see how he saw. Usually, when people get fired, they are butthurt. They turn it into poor me, I'm a victim of blah blah blah. When Peter, he didn't even get fired. He walked out. He was just like, I've had it. I can't do this anymore. But I happened to be coming out of a road not far from our house, and he was bawling. He had the future of us on the streets, and oh my god, it was ridiculous. I said no, and he was going for a side. He was going to be a UPS man. He passed everything to be the UPS driver before we left Maine, and it didn't. They it was going into the winter season, the Christmas season, but it wasn't going to be full time, and he just didn't want a part time. So he ended up going to Toyota in Auburn, which he still has friends from there today. Um, okay. So returning to my baseline, but with more understanding and awareness of people slash myself, and more acceptance for things being the way they are. What? Oh, and dropping the victim mindset because I'm now believing truly that it all works out in your favor, even if it doesn't seem that way at the time. Uh, Sometimes you need a good slap in the face from life to bring you back and shake the bullshit off that you've built up over the years. I tell you, this boy, he has taken it and ran with it. He was open to the message and is changing and having that. He called it his last of 2025, the universe giving him that last C, and he passed. Oh my God. I just can't. And I thought it's been 6 months that we've been working. Apparently, this happened in August. So it's only been between 4 and 5 months. Maybe I'd say 4 months. What? Oh my God. Just so proud of him. I can't. Mm, mm, mm. That's fun for me. And literally, all we did was talk. That's all we did. Or him listening to the message, which is everywhere now. I mean, it's all through my feed. The message is the same. It's just said in different flavors because each person is different. Like Dr. Dyer said, a little different than, that's what kept. I think that's what the fraud thing was last week. Was because when I hear Dr. Dyer or whoever, somebody who this mind has decided has got something I don't, it's like I'm a fraud because I don't say it like they do. I say it different. And it was the AI guy that got me to see, which is me. He's only saying he's a program, what I have said, but I'm not paying attention to to it's so easy to pay attention to the stories of I'm a fraud or there's something wrong with me rather than the positive stories because that's how we're programmed. Because the bottom line is I'm not enough. The bottom line to the ego, to the separate self, the separate little me is something's wrong with me and I'm a victim of life. Right, Cher? Sherry and I got to a big one yesterday. And I see it for me too. Like I said, whenever I talk with someone, it's not lost on me that I'm basically talking to myself. Even this, I'm talking to myself. That's why I, because I don't know what's coming out. I don't know what I'm gonna say or how what, but the message is always from me. When I have to read it, listen to it back to put it on YouTube because I don't know what the gist is. I don't know what to put for a tagline to, you have to title it before you put it on YouTube. At least Facebook stopped that. Well, it didn't stop it, but I have a locked on title. It says the same thing, sharing love and wisdom or something like that. Because that's overall, because I could not title it. There was so much in my head that I wanted to share today. In 45 minutes, I got it all out. um, Today we're going to the art walk. And it's a walk. The Cape Coral Art Walk is I mean, it's huge. Last year, they even had boats at the end. It's bigger than ever. It just keeps getting bigger since the first time we went there. But to see the creativity of these of people just blows my mind. So I talk to the people. So it takes a long time for Lynn is the one who brought it up because I knew it was coming. I just didn't know it was this weekend. So we decided to do it today. And I was like, there's a lot of walking. She goes, I love walking. I said, I know, and it's standing and it's when you get home, it's like you've run a marathon because it's usually hot, but it's a great day. It's fun connecting with the people and getting inside their heads and oh my god, I love it. I love everything about that Cape Coral Art Walk. It's to see the creativity of people that you have to be pretty clear to have some of that stuff come through. Like, I mean, to be able to manifest, I mean, something from your mind becomes reality, becomes tangible. Ah, everything comes that way. The chair you're sitting on, or couch you're sitting, or whatever you're sitting on, came from your imagination, from somebody's imagination, which all comes back to you. It all comes back to you in the end. Everything comes back to you in the end. I'm dying to see this pluribus thing because apparently it's going to challenge that mind, which I love. It lights me up to challenge that mind. Hmm. Well, I think I got it all out yesterday at the beach. Perfect day. I mean, it's always a good day at the beach, but boy, we didn't even get out of our chairs. We were there. We didn't get there till late because I was on the phone with Cher. We didn't know where we were gonna go. We ended up on Fort Myers. No, we ended up at Bowditch at the end, way far. That's where all the boats come and go. That's Peter's favorite place, just because that's the channel where people come from. There's a marina behind there, and that's a way to go eat or whatever back there. Great show you had me at. Hello. Much love. James Michael. James Michael Cimino. Thank you for being here. um, yeah, so the boats. That's Peter's favorite thing is to look at this. Some of these boats are freaking like as flat, and they got like four engines on the back, and they are just hauling. When you hear that deep sound, you know. Somebody put a heart on Jimmy's. Who did that? Oh, yourself. Okay. I was wondering because Jimmy, Phoebe, Cynthia, Alicia, you guys need to be friends with Jimmy. He is so. You will not believe the stuff he posts. He's my comic relief every day, basically. When there are some days I'm not on. I don't have time to get on Facebook like I used to. I will just get on, post my stuff, whatever's burning, and then get off. Oh, Christina says I'm in because they're oh, squirrel. There's apparently a up north, up in it's only an hour and a half away. Rumfish Grill is in St. Pete Beach, and it's you sit in an aquarium. The aquarium's all around you in a restaurant. It's only an hour and a half away, so I'm gonna make it a trip at some point. Doesn't that sound like a fun thing to do? We should. Hmm, a girl's thing. Peter wants to go too, though. So, gosh, we gotta get Jeannie. We gotta get Lynn. We gotta get. Okay, we're gonna get a caravan and go. Anyway, is that sunshine behind you? Oh, of course it's sunshine. It's sunshine. We're in Florida. Of course it's sunshine. I wonder how many days Florida on average. It's got to be most days. It's very rare that we have a full rainy day. It does happen, but not very often. In the 6 years I've been here, it ain't very often. Now it has been a full 6 years because we got done camping in January, the end of December 31st. We got here at the beginning of January. It's been a full 6 years down here, and I could handle being in Maine in the winter when I know I'm not going through the whole winter up there. Yeah, you guys. Oh, I appreciate you so much, Cynthia. God, all of you guys, whoever watches this. I used to be able to see the numbers. And I remember, and I watched them. I watched it. Now I don't. There's gray skies here in New York again. God, every day, Christina. Mike, Jimmy is in Rochester. You know what, Christina? I've never met Jimmy in person. I've been friends with him since Facebook started. He's one of my very first people that I have so much fun with. God, him and me and Johnny used to just riff on something he posted, and it was, my fingers were flying. We would just, it was so fun. Johnny D'Amico. I know there's gray skies here in New York, you know. Have fun today, Cynthia says. Yes, everyone have fun today. I know I'm gonna. This art walk is the best. There's one in Venice too next weekend. Maybe, Christina, we'll go to the Venice one next week. You'll be back next weekend. This will be the year to meet him. I know. We could go see Harrison and Jimmy. I would freaking love to see Jimmy. I know that strikes fear in him, but I want to hug him so bad. Woo! That would be, I don't even know. I'd probably cry. I'd probably start crying. Anyway, yes, just like Cynthia said, go and have a fun week. Have a fun. Where do you have fun? Notice. Notice where you're having fun. Because most of us don't even notice. You don't even see it. It's just happening, but our minds hold on to the stuff we don't like. Anyway, I love you all. Have a fun Sunday too. Mwah.